Megba Abomigala OMA Baba Ojonugwa J.F.O. there. I shall be speaking to you on the topic Igala culture. Toda book Mama Bigalan, Nana Kenefu, Nana Kigala, and I'll try as much as possible to get everybody or to carry everybody along. And I'm happy to be part of this summit. First of all, who are the Igalas? That's the first question we should ask ourselves. And from what I gather, majorly, the people residing in the eastern part of the rivers Niger-Benue confluence astride the river Niger in Kogi State, Nigeria, West Africa. They are the ones known as Igalas. According to the 2006 census, and based on the information collected from the Igala people of Kogi East in Kogi State, the Igalas are the 9th largest ethnic group in Nigeria. This census data did not consider Igala people outside Kogi East. Yes, we have Igalas staying outside Kogi East. We have Igala ethnic communities, Igala speaking communities in Benue State, in Nasarawa, Niger, Edo, Delta, Anambra, Ebonyi State, and Enugu States. In Kogi State, we have Igala communities in Lokoja local government, Ajaokuta local government, and Kogi Kotonkarafi local government areas. And these places are designated as non-Igala areas by the federal government. All these places I mentioned were under the jurisdiction of the Ata of Igala, which means all these places used to be Igala land. So the people found in this land are the ones we know as Igala. So that defines who the Igalas are. Now, what is the language spoken by the Igala people? The Igala people speak Igala. Yes, that's the language you speak. It's called Igala. Now, the word Igala has a tripartite semantic significance. Abo Igala refers to the people of Igala land. Ichi Igala refers to the language of Igala land. And Ane Igala refers to the land, Igala land. The reason we are called Igala is currently beyond any known scholarly knowledge. But if you ask me, scholarly knowledge or not, I am proud to be Igala. In 1832, the Landa brothers, Richard Landa and his brothers, arrived Ida, and they met Gabaidu Ataekele Aga. And according to the journals of 1837, the Ataigala controlled and had monopoly over the river Niger trade routes down to the delta, down to the Niger Delta. That is from the confluence down to the Niger Delta belonged to the Ataigala. I didn't say it. You can go and check it in the journals of the British Empire, British government, 1837. In 1841, the British expedition on the river Niger under the command of Captain H.D. Trotter, yes, was the first to start balkanizing and dividing Igala territory. In 1854 and 1856, another expedition led by William Balfour Bake alongside Bishop Ajayi Crowther settled in Lokoja, thinking that Lokoja was British territory acquired from the Ata Igala in 1841. And from there, they launched an attack on Ida, bombing Igala land in 1879. They bombed Igala land again in 1882 and also in 1890. The documents are all there. Now, the Fulani Jihad of the Masaba invasion into Igala vassal territories of Kotonkarafi, Egon, and Panda destabilized the kingdom. And by 1890, when the British colonial government began to take shape and established, our dear Igala kingdom was incorporated into the territories to be known as Nigeria, and this once thriving Igala kingdom has been balkanized drastically. Now, this British government still further went to divide the kingdom and shared Igala land into various provinces. Ida went to Onitsha province, Ankpa went to Munchi province, Dekina went to Bassa province, Kotonkarifi went to Niger province, Ajokuta was in Ibira province, Lokoja went to Kaba province, all under the Northern Protectorate, except Ida that was in Onitsha province, which was under the Southern Protectorate. So the Ataigala who was in Ida was under the Southern Protectorate, and all his land was under the Northern Protectorate. How would he function? By the time Nigeria, the country Nigeria and the whole concept of Nigeria was put together, Igala land had been scattered, and the Igalas came to the Nigerian agreement like a small minority, which shouldn't be. So I had to go through all of this historical background so you have an idea of who the Igalas are. The Igalas have passed through so many intermix of cultures for hundreds of years that the Igala that you have today is a conglomerate, a potpourri, a mixture of various cultures. But today, that is who we are. That is what we are. So let me go now to the reason, the topic that I was invited to speak on this summit. Our culture and why we should preserve our culture. Culture, simply defined, is a way of life, like your language, your religion, your clothing, your dances, your music, your arts, etc. Igala land has a variety of cultures maintained from time, over time, and handed down from one generation to the other. Our culture helps us to connect with each other and build communities. We build these communities within the same background because we come from the same place, we share the same culture, we have similarities in our lifestyles, so we are able to connect. The various cultural traits of Igala land are preserved over time and passed on to future generations, and this all lives over the tide of time. Our wisdom, knowledge, our traditions, our language, our scripts, dress codes, music, dance are some of the cultural traits that are unique to us as Igalas. Culture is important to us because it defines our evolutionary identity. Culture helps us to understand our ancestral values and gives us the very meaning of life. It also makes us unique from other parts of the world. Because, I give you an example, this shirt, over time it has become fashionable for other tribes to wear it. But whenever you see anybody wearing it, you know, this is my person, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my tribesman, it's my fellow Igala. It has become a part of our culture. It's modern culture, but then it is our culture. From birth and as we grow, our culture and the society shapes our life to become what we are today. Our traditions and culture as Igalas keep us bonded forever. Preserving our cultural heritage offers us a sense of belonging and unity. Cultural heritage and traditions serve to link us with our ancestors, which is valuable and should not be lost. Amibegu Achaka were connected to them because these are traditions and cultures that they have also practiced, and that connection keeps us rooted. The belief and laws laid down by the roots of our culture are meaningful and are for the betterment of our lives. Even though times are changing and society and various cultures are being mixed and switched and all of that, effort should be made not to let go of our Igala culture. Conscious effort should be made. Because of our culture, we share the same ancestry. And because we share the same ancestry, we gain valuable information about our cultural traditions, which are like pages in a history book, which should be read with interest. We do not live for eternity, but our cultures can live for eternity. Cultures give us the gateway to study about our ancestors very well, because from our cultural studies, you know that our ancestors used to have inner marks. We know the hairdo that our mothers used to carry. We know the kind of affair, upo, that they used to low. All these things, because of our culture, we know that our ancestors, how they used to live. Our culture helps us to understand, to realize who we are. It gives us self-realization. When we study about the roots of our culture and follow them accordingly, we get to know better about ourselves, and then we relate to our origin and value ourselves more. It is your culture that makes you value who you are. It boosts our self-respect and dignity to follow our culture. It also makes us feel proud to belong to our culture. Whenever I sing Igala songs, there's a way it makes me feel. And whenever I see my Igalas listening to the songs I sing, it's a feeling that is out of this world. Now, culture also helps you gain evolutionary enlightenment. Cultures have originated in ancient times when human beings started to live as a community. Thus, studying about our culture and the entire world is extremely interesting, and as Igalas, it gives us some enlightenment about how we used to live. This also gives us the required clarity against all our doubts. We have our doubts, but when we know about our culture, we are clarified. It instills moral value in you as an Igala man or woman. Igala culture has its share of knowledges and beliefs, which makes us better human beings. It makes us responsible people who can coexist with each other in a harmonious society. Our culture makes us better human beings and also disciplines us. It keeps us morally upright. Igala culture has norms and laws that are laid down, which if followed leads to peaceful existence. The rules were made for a reason and should be followed rightly. Neglecting Igala cultural traditions is not wise and should not be kept as an option. Culture doesn't demand blind followers. Especially Igala culture, everything is well explained and accounted for in history. Everything about Igala culture is explained, and over time, historically, it is accounted for. Our culture teaches us to coexist with every Igala person and those who are not Igalas, wherever they are, from various cultures. No culture is bad, and Igala culture, most of all, is one of the most perfect cultures I've ever experienced. Maybe because I'm Igala. It teaches us compassion and respect for everyone, so that peace prevails. If you are culturally inclined Igala, there is peace. There's no need for you to get involved in yahoo, crime, breaking laws and all of that. You keep a peaceful lifestyle. Every phase of our life demands different actions, and our culture teaches us that. As we grow up and grow old, Igala culture holds our hand and directs us towards the right path. There are things I used to do when I was young that I don't do anymore. Thank God for the Igala culture that I got to know of. Our culture and traditions was made by our experienced ancestors who wanted to pass on their valued knowledge about life to every generation of Igala race, henceforth to make our survival as a people easier. Our culture gives us responsibility. It teaches us to be responsible. A cultureless and lawless human being is just an animal. I would like to say that our culture should be upheld as our heritage. Nothing and no one should be allowed to attack or destroy our cultural tradition as Igalas. It is always wise to remember that Igala culture defines our existence and makes us who we are. It should be passed on from generation to generation, like it has been done up till now. Our cultural background should never fade into oblivion, and we have to make sure of that. Igala land devoid of culture will not be colorful as it is now. I would have loved to say so much about Igala culture, but because of time, I hope this few points makes you know that as Igalas, your culture defines who you are. Your culture makes you who you are. Your culture is your way of life.